Today I'll be covering a game I recently beat called Warhammer 40k Space Marine Mastercrafted Edition. That's a mouthful. Well, the name is long as fuck, but don't worry, boys and girls, the game isn't. The original non-Mastercrafted edition was released way back in 2011, so it's a remaster of a 14-year-old game. So this is the only one of the several Warhammer 40k video games spanning quite a few genres like RPG and strategy games. And this was the first one of these that I've ever played. The whole Warhammer 40k thing is based off a tabletop war strategy game that, as far as I know, seems like a cross between Dungeons and Dragons and Risk, but with cooler game pieces. But I could actually be way off on that description. I know what everyone's wondering, but is it any good? Is it a good remaster or just meh? Well, sit back and grab your popcorn and your 69-sided die, if you're freaky like that, while I get into this. In this game, you play as Captain Tight-Ass, the leader of a squad of Ultramarines, which are apparently the highest form of Space Marine. Basically badass dudes with heavy armor who look cool and know how to wipe out herds of orcs. The game is played in a third-person, over-the-shoulder, very Gears of War perspective. As always, I like to avoid spoiling things, so if you've never played this but are considering it, you should be safe. Basically, though, something has the orcs' panties in a bunch, and they're acting up, and we're here to save the day by killing them. Yay us! Sometimes you just gotta kill things if they annoy you, and kill we shall. We'll be racking up body count that competes with the likes of Bonnie Blue. There are plenty of weapons at your disposal. These range from a few awesome melee weapons like a chainsword and a big ass hammer. I think it's called the Thunder Hammer. Speaking of hammer, and way off topic, did anyone watch the 90s cartoon that had MC Hammer in it? If so, you're old like me, and no doubt you remember his magic shoes did all the work. Anyway, back on topic. The ranged weapons are what I mostly used. You'll use things like a plasma pistol that has infinite ammo, a bolter, which is basically an AR, a sniper, a weird shotgun that's powerful at close range but runs out of ammo quickly, a laser sniper thing that's cool but has limited use, and a gun that fires sticky grenades that you can manually detonate. You also get a standard grenade that you can throw as well. There are also conveniently placed barrels that can shoot and explode them bitch ass orcs. One super fun thing to do is detach the turrets and carry them around, blasting orcs to bits. The ammo is plentiful in these turrets too, but you can't take them with you everywhere. Most of the weapons are viable in the game, but my favorite were the snipers because I'm a cheeky boy. The enemy's strength is typically in the sheer number of them. Alone they are pretty weak, but they attack in hordes of orcs that can't wait to die. Some are armed, and some just run straight at you with their arms flailing about. As the game progresses, you get introduced to much tougher foe than the fodder enemies of the early game, with hordes of them still mixed in. One annoying variant is an exploding kamikaze thing. It's not a orc, I don't know what it is, that runs straight into you and explodes. It's nothing a little common sense strategy couldn't help you overcome, because trust me when I say this, your two AI companions are like tits on a bull, utterly useless. You'll be equipped with a shield, and it's a good idea to keep an eye on it. If your shield gets depleted, your health will fade pretty quickly as you take more damage, so try to back up or take some cover long enough for your shield to regenerate. There's only one way to heal or gain health. You do this by stunning an enemy and performing a finisher. Just rip them to pieces. Daddy likes. But beware, you can still take damage while performing the finisher. Also, there's a larger variant of enemy that if you stun him, you'll have to win a button mashing contest in order to finish him. As for collectibles, there aren't a lot, but they do sprinkle these red skull recording things in little areas, mostly off the beaten path. But as the game is very linear, which I like in this type of game, some of them are directly in your path and therefore hard to miss. Nobody will ever accuse this game of being a collectathon or a looter shooter by any means. Upgrades seem to be pretty much automatic. You walk up to a weird gun rack and drop pod thing, which I'm sure there's a better way to explain them, and interact with it, and you get a weapon upgrade or a new, better version of the same weapons. I believe, if I remember correctly, this game has about 18 missions and took me roughly 10 hours to beat on the first playthrough, while spending a good bit of that time trying to find as many of the collectibles, red skull thingies, I could possibly find. I played it on normal, and the difficulty wasn't bad at all, although I wouldn't necessarily say it was balanced either. There were a few difficulty spikes scattered throughout the campaign, but it was definitely no Souls-like. Would I recommend this Gears of War clone? Absolutely, especially for those who enjoyed Gears of War games, or even Warhammer 40k games. Cool people like me. It's available on Game Pass, so you might as well play it before you cancel your subscription. I'd give this game an 8 out of 10 rating, and I'm excited to try more of these Warhammer games, especially the sequel to this one and the bolt gun game. No, I absolutely will not try the tabletop stuff, so you can forget about that. I might be a nerd, but I'm not that kind of nerd. But whether you are or not, feel free to like, subscribe, and kiss my ass. See you next time, bitches.
Get wrecked, you loser!
Why me? Why?
And we shall know no fear.